Why you gotta stand up? Why you prepared? Move that and sit right there.
It's like, I'm not asking.
Yeah. Here, it was like, as soon as you walk outside, that's funny though, you know, that's when you breathe. Caesar ready for anymore. What world adventure? Going on the
How big?
We did training camp live yesterday. Now down to running Dennis goes, all right, this is tell me something about this guy from cover. Next thing you know, he ran the wheel and he was running with Ryan Williams up the field. He's like in perfect position. Running back. Yesterday, Randall was better than Williams. But there's been times where Williams quality in the work. I don't know how they're splitting up those third. The guy is actually, and you'll see him when they do the scrimmage will probably get a ton of work. Is Marine. Richard Marine over Thank you. Hand him off. Oh, take it. Oh, man, son. Have you seen my son? You're ready with the safety. So yesterday, your boss is already your boss.
One time, he didn't get it.
Say you were high.
Better than it was last year. Israel will destroy tunnel network. You don't have to force it. So we're looking at like a month or two. What's going on today?
Israel last year. Boy, they got the right next to the right across that.
David likes to have quality time with the coach. It's funny, I've been watching these every team's press conferences.
That was like
The coach always looks for the first question. Looks like yeah, watch tomorrow morning, he's got a point. And I'll take some questions.
How we doing, guys? What's going on?
How would you describe your level of satisfaction with this morning's walk?
Well, I just thought it was okay, and I told our guys that what happens is you get into training camp and you get more information each and every day, and it's important to process what's been in already and get on to the next. And the nature of the walkthrough is not to come out and make all your mistakes and then have a good practice. The idea is get as much stuff corrected and ready to go before you get out there in meetings, and so you take advantage of those opportunities. So I thought we were only okay today. There were some different things happening, different looks on both sides of the ball, but the standard has to be high.
What's the plan with Ronald there at this point?
Anticipate Ron doing something today, doing some individual work, and hopefully he responds well to that. We'll be ready to go on Saturday.
Can you share with us the news
far as mom?
Yeah, she passed away, I think, yesterday morning. And, he's been dealing with that situation for a while. And she apparently is a very, very strong lady because she's been fighting that for, at least a couple years. And Brandon's done a great job being supportive of her and his family and still focusing on what he needs to focus on. So that's why he didn't come out to training camp right from the start. Everyone felt like it was close to that time, so he's been spending time with his family and with her, and they'll take care of all those arrangements, and he'll be out here in the next couple days.
Coach, over a weekend, what's your confidence level in the defense at this point?
Well, it's certainly a work in progress, like every part of our team is at this stage of the year. I'm really pleased with how guys are working. I think our coaches are coaching guys hard, and I think our players are responding well to it. And there's a lot of good competition throughout our team. There's competition to make this team, obviously at every position, but you see that on defense at all the different spots, and then, guys competing for roles and starting positions. So that shows itself really every day in practice, and that's a good thing. I think the communication is getting better and better and better. It's been a big emphasis for our entire team, making sure 11 guys are playing together on each and every play. And it's particularly important on defense when offenses start moving around and you have to make some adjustments. So I think there's a comfort level that the guys are having, the signal callers, if you will, communicating with each other and getting everybody on the same page. So I think we made strides in that area as well.
Jason, have you had to talk to the scouts? And I know you do that every day, but have you asked them to say, hey, let's see what we got here before thinking about maybe making some moves or bringing somebody else in, just kind of looking at currently who you have on the roster?
Well, yeah, we're always looking at who we have on our roster, and not only in the positions they're playing, but, you try to, bounce ideas off of each other about maybe a guy moving to a different spot. Maybe he's more suited to this or less suited to that. So you always have those conversations, and, we want to make sure we give everybody on this roster a great chance when we come out here to practice every day. Having said that, the competition isn't only among these 90 guys who are here. It's with the standard that we need to play at. And if there's someone else in this league on the street who can come in and help us get to that standard, we're certainly going to be open to bringing somebody in at any position, certainly at the positions where we've been banged up.
How do you teach guys to learn mental toughness about playing with injuries that you can play with reasonable safety?
Oh, it's really a balancing act for everybody, and that's an old story in this league, and really anybody who plays sports is you got to fight through stuff, but at the same time you got to recognize the difference between pain and an injury, and communication and understanding your body and all those things are important. We're gonna push players through things. We believe in that as coaches. I think the players we have on our team believe in that. But having said that, you have to be smart, and we have many fewer older players on our team now than we did a couple years ago. We will have a plan for a couple of those guys. You've seen that with Tony. We'll see that with other guys as we go through camp. If they're an older guy or if they're coming off of an injury, we'll be mindful of what their situation is, how much work they've been getting. But you have to fight through things. There's a mental toughness aspect to it. But at the same time, like you said, you have to balance that with being smart with guys.
Is there a way to measure how far Larry is behind in that competition after missing the first?
Not really. Ron's played a lot of football for us, and he's still a young player who needs a lot of snaps. So disappointing that he hasn't been able to get them this first week of camp. But he'll be back out there, and there's a lot of football to be played before this preseason game and really throughout the preseason. So there's plenty of opportunity for him to show up in this competition.
You have the Claiborne status, and one thing you'd been talking about earlier was that he was always probably not as engaged in walkthroughs when he wasn't playing before as he should have been. Was he doing a better job of that today, watching what was going on?
Well, we want to make sure everyone's engaged, and that's never been a case where if someone's not involved that we want them kind of off by themselves chasing butterflies. That's not really how we operate. So, you need to hear the call. You need to know the call. Every rep is your rep. And so if you're a player who's banged up or you're just a player who's not in on that particular play, it's your job to understand what the play is, what your job is, play the play out as if it were your snap, and then get the coaching afterwards. So we expect that from everybody. Mo's off to a great start. We've talked about it before. He's really done a good job coming back off of his injury, and he's competing really well. He has a little situation going on with his knee now, so he's not going to practice this afternoon. We're going to be off tomorrow, so we'll see how he is for the weekend. But he's really off to a very good start, and I think you just see it. You see it in one-on-ones, 7-on-7s, the team stuff. He just has a demeanor about him that's better than it's been, and it's a sign of his maturity and showing up on the field.
How does Romo look? Is he back to his old self? He's doing the same things he's done. I know he's been limited in his work, but does he look the same?
He has been limited. We've talked about what his schedule has been over the first week at camp. I think like with anybody coming off of an injury, the more reps you get and the more time you get doing what you've done your whole life, the better you're going to be. So he's in that process right now. I think he's sharp. He's got a good understanding of what we're trying to do, and I think he's throwing the ball well with command and decisiveness. Now, I believe he's going to get better. He'll be better today than he was yesterday, and next week than he was this first week. So he's a work in progress like everybody else. He's working hard to come back off of that thing. He's at a good place right now, but he definitely will improve as we go.
Is it a misnomer to say he's 100% because he's really doing kind of back something he's never come back before?
Yeah, you're trying to get me into a different kind of conversation. We're going to monitor him really every day and see how he does. I think he's off to a really good start, and he's making a lot of progress. I know that.
Jason, will he practice this afternoon?
Yes.
Jason, I know you just came off the field, but is there any update on Lawrence? Did he have a surgery this morning, or is it going to be in the afternoon? Any update on that?
I believe he's having the surgery early this afternoon, Dallas time, so it probably is in the process of happening. We anticipate getting him back here really tomorrow or the next day.
Has Martin kind of just seamlessly fit in there at that spot? I mean, you haven't kind of noticed him, and I guess can be a good thing as well.
Yeah, and we made a decision that he was going to be a minute one starter for us. We're going to stick him in there at that right guard spot and see how he responds. We did the same thing with Tyron Smith when we drafted him, and the same thing with Travis Frederick. And those guys responded. And, it's not an easy thing to transition from college football to the NFL. And he'll find that out as we go, day after day after day, going against good players. It can challenge you. But one of the things we loved about him, he was a very mature kid. And he loved to play. He worked hard. And, I've said this before, he's got a little bit of that old school offensive lineman thing about him. And Travis has got that. Tyron's got that about him, and I think that's really, really good for your football team. He's got a maturity and a mental and physical toughness that you like, and it's infectious and contagious to the rest of the group and hopefully to the rest of the team.
Because of where he came from, is it one of these things where the stage isn't too big for him? I mean, he's used to all that.
Yeah, not only where he played, but how much he played. He was a starter for over 50 games at Notre Dame, so he's played a lot of games in big stage type situations, but he's also just played a lot of snaps. If you think about, when he's 18 years old, he's a starter there, going through spring practice, all the stuff they do over the course of 4 years in the season and out of season. He's played a lot of football at a high level.
What's the key for J.J. Wilcox to kind of take it to the next level in his second year?
I just think taking advantage of every opportunity he gets. And, J.J. has some natural playmaking traits about him. He's a very physical hitter. You see that. You see it in practice when he just thuds up a runner. The runner typically goes backwards, and he has a good feel for making plays on the ball. He just needs to play more football. And he has a desire to be a really good player. He works out in the meetings. He's got a passion on the field for improving and just simply for playing the game. So he just needs to be out there. He needs to play a lot of snaps and learn from them and keep going.
He's still a pretty young secondary player considering only third year back there.
Absolutely. He's a young player, and he didn't play a lot back there for us last year. So, these reps are critical for him. They're very valuable, and he recognizes that. You see how hard he works every day.
When you ever compete that offense versus defense stuff, is there any ever replay reviews afterwards to see who may have won or lost on those things, or is the decision final when you're out there?
Well, there's initial decision that's final, and then we typically show them in the team meetings at night, and that decision is typically validated, because the same guy who made the decision is making the decision again in the team meeting.
Did they try and lobby yesterday?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a million excuses and explanations and that go on. But DeMarco Murray told me the other day that he didn't know where I was. I played quarterback. He didn't know where I was relative to Bruce Carter. He was standing right next to me. It was on the tape. I leaned over, and I kind of tapped at him. Okay, this is all visual evidence. It's video evidence at night. And I said, DeMarco told me he wasn't sure where I was relative to the rusher. He needed to be on the inside half of Bruce Carter. And So we said that with a lot of confidence, and then sure enough, we showed it in the meeting, and it was pretty clear where I was. So he's chomping at the bit for another opportunity.
How do you pick who goes? Is it, do you know before you get out there, or you just kind of?
Oh, I have an idea, but sometimes you see something in practice that says, hey, let's see these two guys go against each other. I think it's been a good thing for our team.
Jason, what are your hopes for Josh Brent now that he's out of rehab and supposedly wants to play football again, just on a personal level?
Yeah, simply that, on a personal level, to get his life back in order. He's obviously gone through a really difficult time. I can't even begin to imagine what he's been feeling since that night a couple of years ago, and all the different things he's gone through. So, he needs to know that we support him as a person first and foremost, and want to help him get his life back on track.
Jerry's left open the possibility of him, rejoining this team at some point. I know it'd be a long way off. How do you feel about that?
Well, again, we want to support him as a person first and foremost, and I do believe he's a football player, and he has football ahead of him. But first things first, we want to make sure that he gets his feet on the ground as a person back in society, and he needs to know that we support him as an organization, individually, as players and coaches.
How's J.C. Copeland?
He has a little knee that got banged up yesterday, so he will not practice today, and we're off tomorrow, so we'll see how he is for Saturday.
Thanks, guys.
Good to see you guys.
Stars.
I will lie, cheat, steal, and kill to win this game.
It can only get better.
What you got, Big Brother? What else you gotta throw at me?
Don't miss a new Big Brother, live tonight, only CBS.
I'm broke because I can't get a good job. But I can't get a good job because I didn't go to school. But I don't have the money for school because I'm broke. Because I can't get a good job. Because I didn't go to school. Because I didn't go to school. I didn't go to school.
Hold on, it's time to call Kaplan College. With career training in medical practice management, HVAC-R, or as a dental assistant, Kaplan College could help you get the big break you deserve. Call 956-465-0331 for your career compass guide. Kaplan College, your career compass.
Jay Gonzalez Law Firm is proud to take action for Valley children during our Schools Tools Supply Drive. Jago and I encourage you to donate school supplies at any Jay Gonzalez Law Firm location. The Jay Gonzalez Law Firm, sharing the spirit of the Valley.
You are watching Action 4 News.